Hey guys, it's Danny. Today we are testing out a product designed to get us rid of spider mites, our number one enemy with orchids, isn't it? If you guys remember, I think about 2 years ago, I actually tested a product from this company, and I didn't mention the company's name, right? This is SMC Spider Mite Control. Their website is spidermitecontrol.co.uk, and in that video, which you will find linked down below as always, we concluded that this product is oil-based. It is working, it is very efficient, but it is a bit too heavy for some orchids at least. Some orchids do have very sensitive leaves, and in that video I did try this product out on a very sensitive orchid just to see the limitations. So I decided not to use this on orchids. It's an organic oil, it's very heavy, and I do prefer mineral oils which are much lighter for orchids. I do have a sort of DIY solution against spider mites which has served me so well. You'll have my video down below as well. You're gonna have a lot of information in the description. Just don't forget to check the description of my videos. And I'm doing treatments twice a year, and I am spider mite free for the most part. Luckily, I did find some candidates to test this product out because SMC now created a orchid blend, which I'm hoping is a lighter oil. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of bottles here. Thank you so much, SMC, for sending me so many, but I will give half of them away because I have too many. There is one little problem that I want to address from the beginning, and I'm hoping SMC will see it. I will send them an email as well. The ingredient list. If we look here, we can see that it contains specially blended plant extracts. What plants are we talking about exactly? Because there are many people who have allergies to plants or natural extracts and natural oils. I am one of those people, actually. So I'll be very careful in using this product. I will email them. I just opened the box and I saw that we don't have a full ingredient list. Now, if we look on this product, we can see very clearly right on the front label that we have the ingredient list: 1% coriander oil, 94% canola oil. So I'm good with this product. I'm guessing, since this is a new product, that the label will be tweaked. I will insist that this is a problem, and it might create problems to the company as well. I did not find this product on their website because it's very new. I only found it on Growth Technology, and we don't have an ingredient list there either, at least at this moment. They might hopefully add it later. So that's one of my main concerns. Other than that, we'll see how this product goes. I'm hoping it is a, let's say, lighter solution of this one, which is based on canola oil, but we shall see. So we're gonna follow the instructions here, and we will prepare 1 liter of solution. We need to mix 8 milliliters or 2 capfuls of SMC with 1 liter of water. At first sign of damage, spray all surfaces of the plant with a fine mist. Can be used at all stages of plant growth. Avoid spraying flowers, shake frequently throughout spraying, and that's because we want to mix the oil with the water. I think it does have a surfactant here or something to make the oil a little bit more fluid. In my recipe, I use dish soap, but I will not be using it with this product today. Okay, so I will be preparing 500 milliliters because I don't have a big spray bottle. I'll just put the water directly in the spray bottle and then add the oil. Hopefully it's oil. And then I will mix 1 capful with this quantity of water. And yeah, it's an oil. It looks like the canola oil. Let me just sniff it. Oh, it smells exactly like the canola oil mix. So I'm guessing the ingredients are pretty much the same, but I'm hoping it's a much weaker solution. And now I'll just place the cap back on the bottle, give it a good shake. And first of all, because it smells so much like the old version, like the original SMC, I want to try it out on a different plant, not an orchid, because that one was a little bit too strong for orchids. So first things first, the first puffs I shall not place on a plant, because if you noticed, when I put the lid, or actually the sprayer, on the bottle, the oil was right at the top. So the first thing the little straw touched was oil. So there's a chance there's a little too much oil trapped in the straw, so I want to remove that possibility. Alrighty, now let's get a plant. Alright, so I actually got a leaf from one of my outside plants, just like we did with the first product. So I'm gonna spray it, and I'm gonna let it be and see how thick the film of oil is afterwards. Alrighty, we're back, and well, it looks like it's not even there. There's nothing shining on my finger. I don't detect any film really, so if it's there, it's very, very mild. Case in which, yeah, I will spray it on orchids. It's perfectly safe, but it might actually be a little bit too diluted. Maybe, we'll see. Alrighty, so it passed the test. I remember the original SMC completely coated the leaf with an oil film. This behaves differently, but just for curiosity's sake, I just want to see the degree of dilution of that one. Alrighty, on this one, we see that the instructions say 25 milliliters of SMC with 1 liter of water. Well, that's a lot more, isn't it? With the orchid product, we only need to mix 8 milliliters in 1 liter, so about a third, I think. So at this point, I'm actually wondering if it is the very same product, but the instructions are different. I'll make a test actually at the end of the video. Now I think it's time to spray some orchids, so we're gonna have to go outside for this. Alright, so I left the orchids just dry outside. In the meantime, I do want to run another experiment. So I have here another clean bottle. I'll add 500 milliliters of water once again. Same water, it's my osmosis water. And it's not cold, things are pretty warm, it's summertime. So the oil doesn't bunch up. And then we are going to use 4 milliliters, same cap, but the old formula. I think back then I did use less than 25 milliliters. I don't remember exactly, but I just want to see if it's active. Oh, that was close. It's full, okay? So I just want to see if it's a different formulation, really, or it's the very same thing, but used in a different quantity. I'm gonna go wash this once again. Almost did a boo-boo there. Same story, making sure that the first, let's say spray is in a different container. You have to mix it because the oil will always be on top, so if you don't mix it, you're just gonna spray with water and not oil. Alrighty, I did make a little mess here, but it's okay. So let's spray again my little leaf here. So let's give this a shake. My goodness, this sprayer sprays without me even actioning it. And we're gonna let this sit. Once again, I'm gonna put it outside and clean up the mess in the meantime. Alrighty, so let me give you a close-up so you see how this leaf looks like now. There we go. Look at that, you guys. Yeah, I can definitely see the oil now on the leaf. So I'm inclined to say that at this point, I don't believe this is the very same formula, just repackaged and put a different instruction on it. I do believe the original SMC is a lot heavier than the orchid one, and I don't believe this is the accumulation of 2 applications. As you could see in the previous footage, there was barely any oil stain or residue left on the leaf, and now there's a lot of it. If you could focus for me, there we go. Let's make this even brighter. Do you see? I do believe there is a clear difference. I believe the original one is stronger. I think that on the spider mites, we won't actually be seeing results all that fast. Spider mites are very tiny. I will keep you up to date, but definitely with the mealybugs, we can see results. Alrighty, this is the second day. Here are the orchids we treated yesterday. Bonus, I found a phalaenopsis with some mealybugs. We're gonna take a look at her today as well. So my first impression is, I think this will work because it turns out it's not as diluted as I thought. I do detect the scent of this product. It's pretty powerful, so I do have product on the actual foliage, and I'll take you in closer. I do see that oil sheen and I can even feel it. So I do have product on the leaves, that's for sure. I would not go more concentrated than the directions. Now let's just take a look at them closer, see how the pests are doing. First off, the Miltoniopsis, which had spider mites. Well, results will not show overnight. Spider mites are very, very tiny creatures, and it's gonna take a while until I see if everybody's gone. However, I do know how my homemade solution looks like on the leaves, and it does actually resemble what I'm seeing on this orchid as well. The oil distribution seems to be pretty uniform, and it doesn't seem to be all that thick. So no, I cannot see any dead spider mites, but then again, I cannot really see the spider mites. I can only see their damage, and in some cases with very heavy infestation, I can actually see the spiders moving on the orchid. Mind you, they're the false spider mites, not the ones that create webs. Those are easy. These ones, not so much. However, I will say that I can definitely detect that this oil is heavier than my mineral oil. First of all, the touch. It's a little bit stickier than my mineral oil. Don't imagine it's sticky in any way, but in lack of better explanations, it just feels a little bit stickier, a bit heavier. Also, on the foliage, can we see these little darkened patches? This is where the orchid actually absorbed some of the oil, and probably this is my mister's fault for projecting a few drops rather than the fine mist. Overall though, it did deliver fine mist and I don't have issues. It's just, you see these little patches here, they're no trouble. It happens with the mineral oil sometimes as well, although I dilute it very much and I do avoid these. However, everything that I'm seeing tells me that this indeed is a much heavier oil, and you really need to be careful with this one. Like with any other solution, and like I always say, if you ever try something new, first test it on a leaf or on an orchid, see how it does, see if you prepared it correctly. If everything goes okay, then you can move on to other orchids. If not, adjust your treatment. And that's a good thing to do with everything, no matter if you homemade it or you purchased it. So overall, I do see the sheen. I see the oil on the leaf. Can you see it? That tells me that if there are spider mites or eggs on this orchid, they will be eliminated. I also detect the oil on my fingertips a little bit more than my mineral oil, again because this oil is a little heavier. It doesn't mean that it will harm anything. It just means you need to be careful, and it might possibly remain on the plant more than the mineral oil. The mineral oil pretty much evaporates pretty fast, and when it's gone, you're not protected against spider mites anymore. But the upside of the mineral oil is that it's a little bit safer. The downside is it doesn't last all that much. So this might end up lasting a little bit more than the mineral oil, but it has this really big exclamation mark. Be careful with vegetable oil. Next up, this is the Oncidium we treated. One thing that this oil does is attract ants, and it makes sense. It's vegetable oil, it's food pretty much, so the ants are seriously attracted to it, as you can see in the pictures. These orchids did not have ants to begin with. They were inside my grow space, but I left them outside to dry really, really well, and that's what happened. The mineral oil never did that, and again, it makes sense. Mineral oil is not food per se, so they're not attracted to it. So one thing I noticed. On this one, I don't have any darkened patches or spots, and this is simply because this is a much more robust plant. The cuticle on the foliage is a little bit thicker, the foliage is glossier, so overall the Miltoniopsis is just a little bit more sensitive leaf-wise than this, what is this? It's a Wilsonara, so an Oncidium intergeneric. So keep that in mind. With the mineral oil, I do specify this as well. There are orchids which do have more sensitive leaves. In that instance, you could actually cut the dosage in half and try it out, just so you stay on the safe side. What's the worst that can happen? You might have to reapply. Yeah, that's okay. Rather than ruining the foliage, that would be a better scenario. So on this orchid, I don't have any of those darkened patches. The orchid did not absorb anything. And again, I detect the fragrance of the product. So I have product here, and also I can feel it on my fingers a lot more than my mineral product. Not product, so DIY solution. Now, this orchid had mealybugs. With mealybugs, since they're bigger and they move faster, it's easy to tell if something worked. And even though this orchid didn't have a super heavy infestation, I did have some mealies. and I don't see anything moving. I do think they will be taken care of judging by how the orchid looks like. And I'm saying this because I do have experience with my mineral oil. You'll see some footage on the screen. I found mealybugs on a cattleya. I treated it. Mealybugs were gone, but guess what? The ants, which inevitably were on the plant because of the happy sap, they're gone too. That was something I didn't expect to happen, but it happened. Now, no ant is attracted to that particular cattleya. So in regards to ants, it's a major difference between these two oils. But anyway, I know how the leaves should be covered for the product to work, and this looks pretty well covered. I would say I resolved the issue. I'm still going to keep this orchid quarantined, of course, but I think it will do the trick on the mealybugs as well, because it feels thick. If I can detect the oil, then the bugs will simply not do okay with this quantity of oil. And the orchid seems okay. I don't think I'll have issues. I don't think I'll have suffocation or anything of the sorts on the leaves. But then again, that will be determined in a few months. That's when you can actually see if anything of the sorts will happen. So I will make an update to this video in a few months. And here's a phalaenopsis with quite the infestation of mealybugs, and with this one we can see better. Let me adjust the light for you guys. There in the crown we can see a lot of brown mealybugs. When they're brown, they're not living anymore. So the product did the trick on this orchid. Also on the back of the leaves, do we see here that the mealybugs are really not having a good time? So yes, it worked on this orchid as well. However, do you see how very oily this orchid is? I can detect it on my fingers. What seems to happen is that the product doesn't really mix all that well with water. I would use bigger spray bottles. I filled this to the top, and when you when you do this, it's not gonna get mixed well. So use a bigger sprayer or a lower quantity of water, just so you have more room inside the bottle to mix it very well. So lesson learned. I will definitely do that for the future, and I might not have issues, but you can see that gradually we do have a bigger concentration of oil, which can be very problematic. So from now on, just use a bigger spray bottle and shake it vigorously, like super vigorously. But I can rest assured that on this particular orchid, there is no more live mealybug. However, the quantity of oil is excessive, as you could see. And if you look at my finger, can you see? That is a lot of oil. So definitely, you guys, if you intend to use this, make sure it's properly mixed, and also make sure you have enough free space in the spray bottle. I did leave space. It wasn't full, but obviously it wasn't enough, so keep that in mind. So overall, do I think this product will work? Definitely. I find that oils are the best way to go about pests. The risk of creating resistance is zero, because this is a mechanical way of dealing with things. It's not a substance that they can develop immunity to or things of the sort. So generally speaking, oils are indeed my preferred way to treat orchids. Will this particular one work? Absolutely. The layer of oil is enough, in my opinion, to get you rid of stuff. However, though, you have to keep in mind that vegetable oil generally is heavier than mineral oil. It will stick on the plant more, and also because it is vegetable oil, chances are that in low temperatures it will solidify a little bit more. So when you prepare the mix, make sure that you use a little bit of warmish water. Don't make it very hot or things of the sorts, but not cold, because it will not mix well. With mineral oils, this is not an issue, but everything vegetable oil is an issue regarding temperature. So keep that in mind. For best practice, warmish water. I will say it again, when you're trying out new products, always go for one leaf treated before an entire orchid is treated, or one orchid treated before an entire collection, with anything you use, not only this product. And in the end, is it just the original watered down? I don't know. I don't think so. It certainly looks like it's more suitable for orchids. It's lighter than the original in the same quantity, but without an ingredient list, I cannot really tell you. At the moment that I'm filming this, I still didn't really get an ingredient list. I will definitely make sure to add it in the description or somewhere on the screen when I get it. It could very well be just canola oil again, but I insist on the ingredient list because of allergies, you guys. So just because something is 100% organic doesn't mean it's 100% safe. for yourself. So I can totally understand you guys who have a allergy to nuts or to grains or things of the sorts. I know how it is to get ecstatic about a product and then see 100% organic and think, oh no, here we go again. Let's check the ingredients. Oh no, I'm allergic to this. So I totally feel you. That's why I insist on the ingredient list. So I will be sure to share with you the ingredient list when I have it. And I do believe this is just a prototype label. Maybe the label will be improved in the future. As far as I know, it is obligatory to disclose ingredients. So we're gonna see about that. Again, this is a very new product and it works. I do like it a lot more than the original. And I know that a lot of you guys asked me about paraffin oil, if the one you put in lamps is good. I don't think that's good. I use the paraffin oil which comes in body lotions or actually body oils and things of the sorts, or the one you buy at pharmacies. And I know some of you don't have access to that. Well, this is an option and it's great that we have options. So it is effective, but do keep in mind everything that I said. And I will be giving half of these away in my next PR giveaway just as soon as I get the ingredient list. And in the end, if our videos and our discussions and our community helps companies develop products that are actually suited, then I'm happy to do reviews. But please put ingredients on the bottle. This is serious. Alrighty, so with that said, thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this. You know the drill. If you did, like or dislike this video below. Subscribe for more orchid videos, tutorials, reviews, and other orchid subjects of the sorts. And if you'd like to support the channel, do consider visiting the merch store down below in the description. We have limited edition Nelly Eiler merch, which will go away on the 21st of July, and it will never come back. So with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.